Alright, good evening from beautiful Arkansas. It's a beautiful day right now. It's actually my Sabbath, and I just finished smoking a brisket. I was on the smoker for 9 hours. But the bigger news is yesterday I finished my fence. It took me a total of 60 working days, and I'll try to show you part of it and explain to you how I did it. Probably the hardest physical job I've ever done. Not in and itself, but just the totality of it. It was, 60 days is a lot of time. So, all right. So here's my fence. I fenced in 9 acres. I say 9 because I have 10 acres total, and down the hill I didn't take my fence all the way down to the bottom, so I'm roughly estimating 9 acres. So, first thing is, this is my driveway. This is usually where I start, and we'll kind of walk around as I explain kind of the logistics of it. But I got these cedar posts. Actually, they're juniper trees. I would debark them, dig about 2-foot hole. Each hole on average took me like 45 minutes. I have a very rocky property, so it's really hard to dig post holes. They're all dug by hand. Dug 79 of them. It's a lot of work, but it's done. So yeah, I just packed in the dirt that I would take out, and no concrete, nothing. They're sturdy. These things aren't going anywhere. Each time I put in a layer of dirt, I would pack it in with the pole that I use. I don't know what it's called, a Miller pole, I think. It's to just break up any rocks when you come across them. So I'd use the back end of that and pack in the dirt, and by the time you get to the top, it's pretty solid as concrete, and these things kind of work with each other. I just would put in some 4-inch screws or 3-inch screws, whatever I had, to kind of brace itself, and then I attached my wire to it, and then I would run it down. So about each, I just bought 5-foot T-post. If I had to do it again, and I would probably attach 4 to 5 T-post clips per post. If I had to do it again, I probably would have gotten 5.5 or 6 feet, just to probably run a long wire of barbed wire on top to prevent coyotes from jumping over. But we're in the midst of getting a livestock guardian dog, because either way, I think coyotes are going to be an issue. But we lived here for 2 years. We haven't had an issue with our goats yet. So, and then I did these rock stacks, usually where it's exposed in between the cedar pillars. I would just use my excess woven wire, attach it to the fence around the T-post, and get my rocks to fit in there nice and secure. And I would typically go about 8 to 10 T-posts before running another line of these cedar posts. And I'd always do 3 at the corners whenever I'm having to turn it. So that's what I would do there. To tighten the wire, I would either use my side-by-side and pull it, or I would use a come-along, which you could look that up, and I would find either a solid tree, that was just preferred, because if I'm cranking on my post when I just set them, my cedar post, it would potentially shift it. So I would prefer to have like a really solid tree to do that. And if it looks kind of dead here, this is where I had my controlled burn, but that went well. I'm going to do more of that in the future. So yeah, more posts. This is the land marker for my property. This is my neighbor's. We did the controlled burn together, so you can see his is pretty cleared as well. And I came a couple feet in. He doesn't really care, but I just did it just to be on the safe side. Bringing it back over here. All right, so in total, like I said, I had 79 cedar posts. I put in 243 T-posts, and I did over 1,000 T-post clips, and I just did it with a needle nose pliers. Occasionally, if there was a tree, some people are opposed to it, but it's such a solid support. This is a persimmon tree. I would tack some of these fencing nails into the trees just to add a little extra support. And I got a gate. This is between my neighbor's property and I, since he comes over here and helps me with my chickens and animals while I'm away. I wanted to make sure that we can be easy for him. He won't have to drive around. He could just walk over, and this is the path he usually takes. And I just, sometimes I go over there too. It's just nice to just walk right through, and it looks nice. Some of the challenges is like, this is not always level, right? Like if you notice, there's a big divot there. So usually I would try to fill up the gaps on the bottom. It gets complicated because you're pulling wire straight, and you have to navigate it in a way. So see how it's kind of bent there, but I'd rather have it bent in and nothing's going to be going underneath it. That's really taut. So yeah, this is the pretty close to the border of my property between his and mine. I started this job last July because my goats were going over to my neighbors and they were jumping on his tractor and stuff, and I don't want to be a bad neighbor, so I was like, okay, I wasn't planning on making a fence right away, but all right, so we're at the corner. Now we're going back to the chicken coop. So this is the final stretch of it, and this is just a fraction of it. Back to what I was saying. So I started last July. It was not on my top priority of things to do, but I had to do it. I felt like I got pushed to page 1 of my priorities just because I like to let my goats out, and I don't want them to be bothering him. So he's been patient with me. So that's what we did. Side note, see these flags here? We had a perk test done on our property, test the soil. I already knew it was going to be good. It does not hold water on this property at all. But the guy came out and did a design for my septic system. My rough layout is up there. That's what those little poles are for. The flags are where the design for the septic will be. So I might be having a guy come out this week, tomorrow. He's going to check it out, and hopefully he'll be starting the next week or two to start excavating my property. All right, so back to what I was saying. July to September, I worked on it. I did the other half of my property. Well, actually more than half. It's probably 6 acres of it. And that because I'd never done this before, you kind of get better as you do the job. But what stinks is like the very beginning of the job, I made a lot of mistakes, and it's still safe. It's just aesthetically not as, everyone loves my fence. All my neighbors, they say how good my fence looks, and I like it too. But I guess I noticed some of the mistakes, and maybe down the line I'll go back and fix them. But because I wasn't running the wire initially with the T-posts and the cedar posts in unison, I kind of did that at the end. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, so it became more difficult to navigate that, and that's where those mistakes came in. But it can be fixed. It's just not top priority right now. Again, no one even notices. It's just me. But yeah, all these jobs I always get better with as I do it. But yeah, July to September was the first part of first 6 acres of my property, and then I did the final 3 right here. In total, it was 3,300 feet, which is over 3/5 of a mile. It's a lot. So yeah, it took me 60 working days over 4.5 months. I started back up beginning of February, and today's March 20th, 21st. And I finished yesterday, 20th. So so happy this job is done. The biggest beneficiary of this is actually the chickens. I actually can let them out more because I was having a fox snatch a bunch of my chickens last year, but now I don't think that's going to be an issue. But I just put them back up just because I can't let them out. I'm about to wrap this up here soon, but about to leave. And this is the final stretch. I said it's 3,300 feet. It was about 10 spools. I used all of it. I had one extra foot to spare. if I had, this is my final gate. This is a sliver of my property down here. Just sometimes I want to be able to go to the other end of my property. So that's why I put this gate here. Plus, I didn't have the wire to finish it, so it made sense to me that put a gate in here. There's a nice spot where deer go right over there, so when I decide to hunt, I'd like to be able to just walk out this gate. So that's what that was for. Yeah, I'm like just so happy it's done. One person, it was me, did the whole job. I'm not gonna say if I could do it, anyone can do it, because I'm not sure if most people are willing to put themselves through what I did for this, but if you're willing to work hard, it is possible. The whole job, I guess, cost me probably around $3,000. You gotta try to ask a professional to do this. Costs you a lot more, and this is the goat area, my chickens, and that was when I did the first half, but I'm not gonna walk around my whole property. But this is it. Everything's enclosed except for the gate in the front. There's only one thing left to do. I have to do a gate to my driveway. I kind of have like a temporary little wire fence that I kind of roll across. It's not like super secure, but it's enough of a deterrent that the goats, they haven't figured out to test it right now, or quite yet, but they probably will eventually. And then I'm just gonna take a little break, and then probably in the next week start working on that gate. But I thought that I'd make this video because for the most part I'd say it's done. I don't have to run any more wire, put in any more T-posts. I think it's safe to say it's done. There's just one gate left to do, so that's what it is. Yeah, 60 days of work, no more of that. On to the next thing, hopefully get this house built. This is an exciting year. We feel blessed, and we're excited for the days to come. All right, that is it for now.